Welcome in. It's that Taco Tuesday, my man. I'm going to bring him on in. Real quick, before we do, we got to shout out to our sponsors first. Let's get this thing going by giving a shout out to Locomotion, located just below the Northwest Arkansas Mall in Fayetteville. Corey Beck's Custom Painting. Also, KDK's Chicken. It's down at 989 Razorback Road. Go see Keith and Kathy and get a plate of that love like they say. It's not your mama's. I added this part. Best chicken and waffles in the South. And lastly, Lindsay and Associates with an office location in Fayetteville and an office location in Rogers. But I want to bring in my buddy, my co-host, the man behind the scenes. D, what's going on, my man, on a blessed Tuesday?
I'm just getting myself together over here.
Realistic, for those that want to check out the show today or any time, D, tell them where they can hear all of our platforms.
Yes, you can check us out on the Hill Sports Talk and Sauced Up Entertainment LLC on YouTube. On the Hill Sports Talk LLC on YouTube and Sauced Up Entertainment on YouTube. And then you can check us out on any major streaming podcast platform, that being Apple, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio. Just search On the Hill Sports Talk and you will see a new episode, a new show.
We got a good show today, my man. We get back into the Hall Guy segment. You and I have seen a lot of film over these young men that Coach Pittman and staff have offered. Really excited for today's show. What states have we been in? And based on what film? Who's playing the best football based on your film? You get to analyze these kids.
What's crazy is my buddy was talking about that the other day on Facebook. He was questioning who has better football, and I'm still surprised by these Florida boys. I think when you look at just the type of speed that they have, it's just on another level. Of course, you do see speed throughout the states. Of course, Texas, Louisiana, but I just think the speed across the board for multiple players. I think that's the biggest difference to me. Just the type of speed that's in Florida.
Two states that we have young men that will be joining us today, big-time prospects for the University of Arkansas, Demetrius, Oklahoma and Kentucky. I kind of feel like, when you talk about Oklahoma football, high school football, I should say, it's kind of like Arkansas football. There's a lot of big-time talent over there, but it just doesn't get the respect and exposure. But times have been a change with a lot of the prospects in both Oklahoma and Arkansas high school football. But, those two states, don't you think, there's better football. And when you look at these two young men, and I'll let you know who will be joining us here real soon, you get the sense big-time players are definitely in abundance in those two states, Kentucky and Oklahoma.
Yeah, I think Oklahoma is a state that, Arkansas has always wanted to really make ties and, really make a recruiting bed. But I think we would kind of cherry pick out of there every now and then, but we really never really found a funnel school. But I think with Sam Pittman having, Oklahoma's ties, although, he claimed
Barry Odom.
As well as Barry Odom, two guys that claim Arkansas, but they have deep roots tied into Oklahoma. And I think now you're going to see a greater amount of talent come to Arkansas out of the state of Oklahoma versus the past years.
Tomorrow signing day for Arkansas, early signing day for spring sports. Eric Musselman and staff expected to sign Moses Moody, KK Robertson, and Jalen Williams to that very nationally known top 10 class that he's going to be bringing to Fayetteville, as well as will Mike Neighbors, He'll be welcoming. Oh no, Mike signed all his young ladies early. So we'll make a note of that. He got his in pretty early, but you got to feel good about this class that Muss has signed, don't you think? I mean, these kids, he's bringing in size, athletic ability, guys that can fill roles, and put the ball in the hole, Demetrius.
Yeah, I think the last one was the key. He brought guys that can put the ball in the hoop, and I think that's the state of basketball right now. They want scores. Everybody wants to know who can outscore and who can shoot that three ball. And I think when you look at the arsenal of guys from an offensive standpoint that he recruited, and all of them can shoot tray balls from the big man on down. So I just think it really separates our team from a lot of these other teams with the versatility and size that we have for next year.
Well, you talk about versatility, you talk about size, and you talk about being able to put the ball across the line. We got all that. So let's get this lineup. Versatility. Our 115 initial guest, Harold Perkins from Cypress, Texas, Cypress High School. Very versatile young man, and when you get a chance to see the film and we talk to Harold here momentarily, you'll understand why he's such a high priority for Arkansas on that defensive side of football. Head recruiter, Ryan Rose, we'll find out all those things about how Harold sees Arkansas. Man's got a lot of options, but he's only a junior, and we're going to have a lot of time to go on the journey with HP, and then we're going to make a trip all the way to Midwest City. We talked about Oklahoma football. Well, the number one player in the state will be joining us at the 1:30 hour, and running back from Midwest City, Carl Albert High School's own Javion Hunt. We'll find out what he has to say about the Razorbacks, and then we'll make our way down to Louisville, Kentucky. We talked about them too, so we got to show you what high school football is about. In 2022, offensive tackle Kiyaunta Goodwin, the big fella's going to be joining us, and man, he's got a lot of people chasing him as well, and Arkansas is just one of those others that continue to want to see his service, and hope he'll call Fayetteville his home within the next 2 years. But let's get a break, and then let's get going. It's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins, and it's time for the Hall Guys on KDSJ 479. Let's get it.
The producer.
Welcome back. It's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins, Sports Talk Radio here on KDSJ 479. We come to you Monday through Friday from 1 to 2 p.m. And we always talk about recruiting as it's the lifeblood of any program, especially at the collegiate level. You have to have the Jimmies and the Joes. So Arkansas and head coach Sam Pittman, defensive coordinator Barry Odom, and linebacker coach Ryan Rose made their way down to put their hat in the ring for big-time 2022 outside linebacker from Cypress, Texas, Cypress High School, Harold Perkins. HP, welcome to On the Hill.
Thank you.
Let's get off into recruiting. Harold, so early heading into your junior year, Arkansas comes in with an offer. Talk about what it meant to get an offer from an SEC school so early, and what did Arkansas say in regards to if you chose here in the coming years to be a Razorback, how you would fit in?
It was surprising and very much appreciated.
What did Arkansas? Well, go ahead, Harold.
I'm looking forward to seeing their campus.
Now you have a lot of colleges that's come in here over the last couple of weeks. I mean, it seems like after Arkansas offered, even more so here. I think most recently Alabama just came out with an offer. Who are some of the other schools, Harold, that's kind of talked to Coach Stevens about you and kind of showing you that you're a high priority for their school?
Yes, I see that. I'm getting a lot of interest. It's humbling too.
I mean, I know you're a very versatile football player, outside linebacker, and Coach Stevens says you have the ability to play all over the football field. What side of the ball do you prefer, and what position? Are you want to be an outside linebacker? You want to play on the line, or what's most comfortable for you, Harold?
I'm an athlete. I could do it all.
I like that. Now with the with the COVID pandemic coming out, you guys there at Cypress weren't able to go through spring ball, so you're missing your junior season of spring football. What are you able to do, Harold? I know you and Coach Stevens says you and his son are really, really close, and you guys work out. But what's the workout plan on a daily basis so that you guys are able to stay in shape, so that when you do get back on the football field, you'll be ready to go?
We do a lot of stuff. Footwork, conditioning, push-ups, weightlifting. We do it all.
Now, what are some things that you feel good about after your sophomore season heading into your junior year that when, say, you and Coach Stevens sit down and watch film, you say, hey, I feel good about this, but what are those little notes that you make that you want to get better at for your upcoming junior season?
It would be getting better as a defensive back.
Wow. Now, who are some NFL or NCAA outside line or athletes, I should say, Harold, that you like to watch, and then kind of take parts of what they do and put into how you play on Friday nights?
I like a few people. I like Jalen. I like Jalen Ramsey. I like his aggressiveness. I like Rich Sherman, shutdown corner. I like Jamal Adams. I sit and watch him break down the game. I like him. I'm more of an aggressive player.
I like
that. Yeah, I like knocking people's arms off.
Now, when I come to Cypress, Texas, I'm coming to Cypress High School. I'm going to buy some popcorn, get a 20-ounce Coke. I'm going to the highest bleacher in the stadium, Harold. When that ball is kicked off, when it's time to go for 4 quarters, what type of football player will I see in Harold Perkins?
You'll see a dog.
Now, we're riding around Cypress, Texas. I'm old school. I'm one of those old cats. I'm going to listen to more Michael Jackson and those guys. But I want to know what the new songs are. We're in your car, Harold. What's the first 5 songs on the playlist that I'm going to hear?
NBA Youngboy. War with Us. Solar Eclipse. My favorite artist is NBA Youngboy. I can relate to him a lot.
Harold, it's kind of. I got a story. My producer sitting here in the studio shot one of his concerts about 8-9 months ago. He's got a pretty good relationship with NBA Youngboy. So, I'm not trying to recruit you or anything. Just throwing that out there. But who's some other? I think you gave me 3. Give me 2 more.
I got Lil Baby. Lil Baby, he go hard. And probably I say Meek Mill.
Them are some good ones, man. I'll ride with you. I definitely, I'm a Meek. I kind of understand a little bit of the Meek Mill. That he had a song I think called Green Goblin or something like that several years ago that I really like. But final question, I want everybody to know that we're talking with Harold Perkins. big time outside linebacker of Cypress, Texas, and Cypress High School, Arkansas major prospect. Last question. Harold, I want you to finish this statement for me. When football is done with, when it's all said and done and you've hung up the cleats and just, ready to do something else, Harold Perkins is going to be doing what with his life after football?
Sports analyst on ESPN.
I can see that, my man. Definitely could see that. Harold, continue to make us a part of the journey. And remember, hey, our show and our line is your line. Call us anytime. And let's try not to make this be the last interview that you and I have. All right?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Harold, thanks for taking time out on the hill, my man.
Yeah, thank you for your time.
That was Harold Perkins of Cypress, Texas, Cypress High School, big-time outside linebacker in the 2022 class. A lot of people are after this young man. Arkansas hopes that they can continue to be in contention and have this man call Fayetteville home. And Demetrius, when you watch Harold's film, the man talked about, being versatile. I don't think he misspoke in any shape or form.
Not at all. I look at him and I can see him being the safety. I can see him being a shutdown corner, or a shutdown nickel. So he has the versatility to play anywhere on the field, and he has the speed to run with receivers. There was a couple of clips where he was playing running back, and you just saw the type of breakaway speed that he had. You saw some plays where he was playing quarterback, where he made some improv plays, made something out of nothing. Then you saw the tenacity and physicality that he shows on defense. So to me, he's just a football player. I think these guys are going to get younger guys, not only two-sport athletes, but guys that can play multiple positions on the football field. And I think the way Sam Pittman is, I think now you're gonna see a lot of players possibly going two ways. I really do believe this. I really believe Sam Pittman is gonna be innovative enough to figure out how to get the top athletes.
I think you're going to see you can see several athletes.
There's going to be a couple of kids that you're like, okay, they're going to be, in some positions where you wouldn't normally see him. So I think he's a kid that could even end up on that running back room. He showed that type of versatility. So
when you get offers from Alabama, and I'm not saying that's anymore. Based on history and what they've done over the last decade, you would think that it would have a little bit more punch. But when you talk about Sam Pittman and talk about some of the guys he has on his staff, these guys were national recruiters themselves. I know Justin Stepp is young, but it's just 2 years ago he was a top 25 recruiter. Coach Pittman multiple years. Barry Odom has been a top NCAA recruiter, as has Scott Fountain. Those guys have been known to go out and get some of the nation's elite. And then you talk about Coach LeBlanc, and you talk about Davis, and you talk about Carter, and you talk about Smith and Cooper. These are your hungry guys, Coach Davis and Coach LeBlanc. And one thing you can always tell about a great recruiter, Demetrius, is their portfolio, what they've done each year with the players that's come through them under their development. Watching a lot of these coaches have done it, and I think you and I both know eventually Sam Carter and Stepp and Cooper and Smith, the younger coaches on this staff, people don't know about them. And then I'll be remiss to say didn't even mention Kendall Briles, the ability these guys have to they've got some resumes, D.
Yeah, I think it really just shows the impact that I can't figure out a word I want to really say. I guess the credibility of Sam Pittman's recruiting skills, because if you look, that seems to be the trend. As soon as Sam Pittman offers a kid or somebody from the staff, you see a big SEC school like a Alabama, like a Tennessee, like a Florida jump on a lot of these kids that we're starting to get in the 2022 class and so on. So to me, it really just shows how the coaches really view Sam Pittman around the league and the staff, that they, because a lot of these kids, these guys aren't looking at. They're seeing Arkansas offer them, and then they pop on the radar saying, okay, this kid does have the potential to reach this type of ceiling. Right. So again, I think it just shows the recruiting side of Sam Pittman's staff and the impact they're going to have on the SEC.
Speaking of Arkansas, ESPN, I saw something, I believe, early this morning or last night. In the top running back U's, the top 10 running back U programs, Arkansas made the list of a school that if you're a running back, but I also say if you get the proper offensive line, because when you look at all the great running backs that's come through the University of Arkansas, they all had a common denominator, and that was a very, very established, very physical, very versatile, athletic offensive line, and most of those guys had a chance at least at least 3 to 4 in each group I've ever covered or have followed in my Razorback career. Those guys, most of them going to play in the NFL, and I think that's what Sam Pittman's about to bring under Coach Brad Davis under their watch here in Fayetteville for many, many years to come. But Jimmy Smith is a guy that I really feel is going to be a big asset as far as how development of the running backs happen. As we said, they made the top 10, so we're going to take a quick break, and then we got to gas the bus up. The Hall guys got to keep going because I say they don't stop watching. We're heading to Midwest City to talk to the state's top player and 2021 running back prospect, Javion Hunt of Midwest City, Carl Albert High School. He's about to take the stage. It's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins on KDSJ 479. Let's get it.
God, the producer.
How's the transition going early in your coaching career at Arkansas? I mean, what's it been like, getting adapted to Fayetteville?
On the field is football-wise, it's been going pretty fast, recruiting-wise, and now we're starting to get into some ball and get things started. But I'm excited. Off the field is great. Great community, great people. Everybody want to help you out. They can't help you when you get point in the right direction. So I'm excited about what the future holds.
What went into you taking this job? I know you had a prior relationship with Coach Pittman, but how excited are you to be able to be the running back coach for such a highly respected coach as Sam Pittman is?
I'm super excited, man. When he called me about the opportunity, I was excited. We was getting ready for some things at Georgia State. It was like a dream come true at the time, but now I've settled down and now I got some things we got to do.
State of Georgia, you're highly respected in that state. Just 2 years ago, you were a high school football coach and probably the best program in that state. Talk about how much of a whirlwind it's been that just 2 years ago you're a high school coach and now a running back coach in a Power 5 conference and what I consider the best SEC West.
Yeah, it's been a whirlwind, but it's been a good one. I think it's a good storm. It's been a good storm. The process has been, like I say, fast.
God, the
But
producer.
I'm enjoying it. I'm one of those guys, like I said, I like the grind. Work never bothers me. I'm never satisfied with good. So I'm excited. I just love the whole thing, all of it, recruiting, coaching, all of it. I just love it.
You put a social media video out talking about Pure Baller becoming a given. Explain that message that you wanted all prospective recruits, in particular the state of Georgia, to understand about where you were going to try to take Arkansas.
Yeah, I want kids to understand that I'm going to find you. Don't worry about it. Just do your job. Play football. Play for your team. You got to put all that stuff out about I'm underrated and play ball. And if you can play ball, I'm going to find you. I'm coming to get you.
How's your ties in Atlanta area? You know quite a lot of people, I'm pretty sure. You know, being in administration, but talk about, you know, I see you guys signed 4 kids out of the state of Georgia so far. Is that something that, you know, you plan on going back each and every year, and we can get 4, let's try to get 5? I mean, is Georgia going to be somewhere that... Welcome back. It's our Tuesday edition of On the Hill with Pat Jenkins Sports Talk Radio. It's the Hall guys as we get back to it, because we always tell you they don't stop watching. Arkansas was evidence, and we mentioned here just briefly, was mentioned as one of the top 10 programs for running backs. They call it RBU. So we thought that Arkansas, they never stopped watching big-time running backs. And Jimmy Smith, being the new running backs coach here at the university, he and Coach Sam Pittman and the offensive staff made their way to Midwest City, where we're going to bring in 2021 big-time running back prospect and the top-rated player in Oklahoma in Carl Albert's own Javion Hunt. Javion, welcome to the Hill, my man.
What's up? How you doing?
I'm doing real good, man. How is recruiting going for you heading into your senior year? Being the top player in the state, Javion, who are most of the schools that are really making you a high priority?
Recruiting has been going well ever since it started. I'm really blessed. Since day one, I've had some schools like Arkansas, Nebraska on my trail. And that meant a lot to me when I put my top 8 out. Those type of things, from them being on me early. And later on now, I got some schools like Virginia Tech and different schools like that. Virginia Tech, Baylor, just different schools that came on a little later but show strong interest.
Being that it is your senior year, I know you had some schools that you probably had planned on getting out to during spring ball unofficially. Maybe not taking official, but use some of the unofficials to see as many schools as possible, Javion. Who were some of those schools that you possibly had planned on getting out to? And the second part of that question, when the COVID pandemic is finally over, we get back to normal life, who are some of the schools that you and your parents plan on getting out to?
I actually planned on taking a couple officials because I'll be an early enrollee. I actually planned on taking a couple officials this spring. I was going to take one in Arkansas and probably Nebraska.
Now, you're right there in the OU Oklahoma State backyard there in Midwest City at Carl Albert High School. You know, is it any in-state pressure, Javion, to maybe stay at home and play at one of the institutions, or is that something that, you know, you got to make the best decision for what's best for Javion Hunt at this moment?
I want to find someone who fits me and does what I like to do and does what I do. And if that's not the in-state schools, there's no pressure on me. I just want to go play football somewhere at a high level.
You come from a very highly respected high school program, as you guys just recently come off winning the state championships with a 13-1 record there at Carl Albert. I mean, being the top player and being on the top high school football team each and every year, I mean, how much did you relish that when you go out knowing everybody wants to stop number one in the backfield?
It just makes you have to know you're going to have to prepare harder every week and every year, because the more we win as a team, the bigger that target gets on your back and more people are going to want to try to hit it.
Now, you look at all the running backs, and really, you know, Javion, Oklahoma high school football here over the last few years is getting a reputation of having some pretty good running backs come out. I mean, Arkansas just recently had one several years ago in Felix Jones. When you look at the emphasis of this program under Sam Pittman, he's an Oklahoma guy, played high school football in that state, starting to try to get back in, and then a guy like, say, Miles Slusher, whom many didn't think he would be at Arkansas. With him being here, how much do you look at that as the opportunity to play in the SEC with, at a school that's fairly close to where you're at right now?
That's big time. Because I'm cool with guys like Slush and different guys from the city who hold Arkansas offers. So that pipeline would be good. That pipeline is very good, and I could see it really growing in the future. The Arkansas-Oklahoma pipeline.
Now, who are some NFL or NCAA running backs that you look at, Javion, and possibly want to take parts of what they do and perform on the weekends?
I look at a couple running backs. One, for instance, you know who Brees Hall is? I kind of think he goes Iowa State freshman running back. I think our running styles are very similar. He was a AP freshman All-American this year. I think our running styles are very similar. But some guys I look up to and have looked up to would be like Ezekiel Elliott. I like a lot of old school backs. Let's go like Gale Sayers, Marcus Allen, different old school running backs too. OJ Simpson. I watch a lot of film over those old school guys to see things I could do to implement in my game.
Awesome. Now, when I come to Carl Albert, there in Midwest City, buy my 20 ounce, get my popcorn, pick the high seat in the stadium, what will I see for 4 quarters once that ball's kicked off in Javion Hunt?
You'll see someone who's locked in, ready to go, trying to be the best leader he can be, trying to let people feel off his energy, and trying to be a field general and trying to control the whole game.
Everyone that have just tuned in here to us here on the Hall Guys segment of On the Hill with Pat Jenkins Sports Talk Radio, I want you to know we're speaking with top Oklahoma prospect from Midwest City, Carl Albert High School, Javion Hunt. Javion, could you tell the listeners something that they may not know about Javion Hunt that you would want to share with them?
My coach Pittman actually recruited my dad in high school, and my dad and Coach Sauce also played together at OU.
Well, see, that's something that no one knew. I mean, with that being said, you know, how much of a factor will that play? I mean, to have such a relationship, you know, with Coach Pittman and with offensive line coach Brad Davis. For those that don't might not know who Sauce is, it's Coach Brad Davis, his college nickname. But you know, how much of a factor will that play, Javion, when it's time to make that decision? I know you said you're going to sign early, but you know, how much of a factor will that be?
It's for sure big time. With my dad playing college football and being recruited by a lot of people, we have a lot of relationships with the people I'm being recruited by and some of the offers I have. So we have it in a lot of places, and it's kind of big time. It's a selling point to know that you have someone that you already had a relationship with, or your family has had a relationship with that person in the past. Right. It's pretty cool.
Now let's have a little fun, Javion. We're riding around Midwest City. I'm one of the OGs. I'm old school, kind of around your dad's age. But I want to know what's the new hip music. What's the first 5 songs when we get in your vehicle on your playlist that we're going to listen to?
First 5 songs. I'm gonna have to go with Lil Baby first. I have to go with Lil Baby first. Go with Emotionally Scarred. That's my first song. That's my first song right there. Then we're gonna go with Kodak Black, Identity Theft. We're gonna go with Roddy Ricch, Rich Forever. Then we're gonna go with Major 9, Ready for War. And then I have to hit you with probably another Major 9 song. It's called I don't even know if I can remember the song, but it's gonna be a lot of Major 9 on that playlist.
Now, you know, to end this, and I want to thank you for taking time out, Javion, to be here on OTH. But I'm going to make a statement. I want you to finish this statement for me. When football is done with, when it's all said and done, you've hung up the shoes, put the pads, the helmet up, Javion Hunt will be doing with his life after football?
Hopefully Javion Hunt will be giving back to those who helped him get to where he was able to get, giving back to family, coaches, friends, and hopefully Javion is a better man, better player, better overall person than he was when he started.
Hey, Javion, man, I appreciate you for taking time out here today to be a part of On the Hill, and just let us be on share your platform. But I tell you what, if it is and when you do decide to make that decision, and it happens to be in Fayetteville, let's schedule and you could maybe do it on here on OTH.
Yes, sir.
Now, all right, my man. Well, hey, have a blessed one. Good luck on your senior year. Get another chip, and thanks for taking time out today, Javion.
Thank you.
That was 2021 four-star prospect, the top player in the state of Oklahoma this year, Demetrius Javion Hunt out of Midwest City Carl Albert High School. And when you watch this young man's film, when I watched last night, a lot of the guys that he said he likes to study, I could see that in that running style. Very, very powerful, but that burst of speed. That burst of speed, and it's it's really unbelievable when you look at Javion's film, the things this young man is able to do with the football. I was watching one, in the snow, and I don't know if our listeners got a chance to check that out, but it's a game in the snow. I think Javion said they were somewhere close to Denver, Colorado, and he makes a cut, and I mean, whoa! When he made that burst, it was off and running.
Definitely, he definitely has a old school type of game, but has the agility of the newer players.
Right.
What I mean by old school type of game is, he's not one to sit there and juke and go left and right. He's a downhill runner. He's an off the edge runner. When he gets to the sideline, he's gone. And just a guy that's a one cut and go guy. That's kind of like the Ezekiel Elliott style running.
Right.
One cut, and then you just use your track speed to get you home. So I think the type of running backs that he did describe, he does have a similar game. And I just think also he was just versatile. I saw him play a little bit of linebacker too. And to me, that shows just a different type of physicality from a running back standpoint, and that you understand defenses.
Right.
You know where the cutting lane should be if you're scraping, one way as a linebacker. So I think just having both sides of the ball and understanding, a running back's position from the linebacker and what they tend to do, and understanding the defensive nuances as far as the defensive lineman, I think can take your game to another level as well.
I know a young man that wants to take his game to another level, but he likes to use pancake. But you can't have pancake without the syrup. So we're going to Louisville, Kentucky to catch up with Big Syrup himself, Kiyaunta Goodwin from Ballard High School. He's about to take the stage. It's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins on KDSJ 479. Let's get it.
Timmy God, the producer.
Welcome back. It's our Tuesday edition of On the Hill with Pat Jenkins Sports Talk Radio. It's the Hall Guy edition of OTH. And real quick, want to give a shout out to all of our sponsors before we get this thing going with our next guest. I want to give a shout out to Lindsay & Associates with an office location in Fayetteville, an office location also too in Rogers. Locomotion, it's located just below the Northwest Arkansas Mall in Fayetteville. KDK's Chicken, located at 989 Razorback Road. And lastly, Corey Beck's Custom Painting. All those sponsors want to give a big shout out, as this show would not be possible without you all. But moving over to the state of Kentucky, Coach Sam Pittman, we all know, is very renowned for finding the nation's elite offensive line prospects. And he and Coach Brad Davis have combined to head to Louisville, Kentucky, where they're made an offer to 2022 big-time offensive tackle prospect Kiante Goodwin of Ballard High School. KG, welcome to OTH.
Great.
Kiante, let's get off into recruiting. Arkansas comes in with an offer here recently, I believe, over just a little inside a week ago. Talk about that offer from that SEC school, and what does it mean to have so many big-time schools recruiting you? You know, and you've still got 2 years left in high school football.
It means a lot, especially the fact that, I'm a sophomore in high school. Most guys don't start getting looked at to their junior and senior year. And a lot of schools been looking at me since my 7th grade year. It means a lot because, they think that I'm able to actually play at that level. I've been trying to, work hard every day, grind so that one day I can play at that level. And it means a lot that they think that I'm able to play at that level at such a young age, especially considering the fact that they don't really know. You know what I mean?
Right. You, as you mentioned just seconds ago, Kiante, you have had a lot of, sometimes unrealistic expectations being a seventh grader and everybody thinking that you're supposed to, play as if you're in college. But, how have you dealt with that, Kiante? Because speaking with you, you seem to have a level, and not seeing you have a level head on your shoulder. So how have you been able to, balance all of that while still yet trying to enjoy the game of football at such a young age?
Just grinding, having fun, just trying to have fun with my team, just making sure that they understand that it's not just about me, it's about the team, and that I'm going to do everything to make sure that the team wins. And just try to have fun, still live a childhood and also play football and be able to set myself up for my future.
Now, you recently were at starting your high school career at Holy Cross High School there in Louisville. Since then, have transferred over to Ballard. Had to sit out last year. Wasn't able to take part in your sophomore season, which we won't talk about. That's for another show. But how did you, what were you able to take away from that year that's going to help prepare you for your upcoming junior season, Kiante?
It helped me get more into the leader role. I had to sit back and watch what the team needed to work on and then tell them and help them with it. It sucked because I really wanted to play, but, I was able to help the offensive line and tell them things and teach them things that they could do to help make them better as a unit. Because as we all want to play, but, when you can't play, you just have to, find other ways to help the team out. And that's what I was able to do.
Now, since that year you had to sit out, you were able to watch that freshman tape. And when you watch film, you sit down. What were some of the things, Kiante, that you felt good about? And then at the same time, what were some of the things that you took out of there knowing, hey, I may not have played, but this is what I did sophomore season. These are the areas that I have to get better and I'm going to work on in the offseason. What are some of those areas?
I would say my mentality and, making sure that I go 100% every rep, giving it all, because it's not about me. I would say finishing, making sure that I go through the whistle every play. It doesn't matter. Yeah, those are the things that I think that I work on every day.
You've had a past relationship with former and now new defensive line coach and Derek LeBlanc. Also, too, having a relationship with Brad Davis. How big of a factor is that? In particular, having Coach LeBlanc go from Kentucky to Arkansas and still yet, make you a major priority and come back and extend that offer with Coach Davis?
It means a lot, especially because I felt like I had a good relationship with Coach, and for him to be at a different school that offered me, I feel like he can help them understand me and what I like in the school, and it helps me figure out what's so spectacular about Arkansas, and also just it's going to be able to help that transition with other coaches that really haven't met me and get a chance to know me.
Now, with Arkansas's head coach Sam Pittman being what many consider to be the top offensive line coach in college football, having now since taken and been named the head football coach, how big is that, Kiante, to have a head coach that has been a former offensive line coach just a year removed in the SEC? How big is that for an offensive lineman's standpoint?
It's very big to have an offensive line coach as your head coach. It's very important to me because, typically the linemen don't get the most, recognition.
Right.
And the teams that do have that offensive line coach that stands out and that's on top of the team, it really does make your linemen feel better. It makes us go harder. It makes us work harder. And it makes us really feel appreciated. So it means a lot.
Who are the NCAA or NFL offensive linemen that you like to watch, Kiante, and maybe add parts of what they do into what you do on the weekends?
I like to watch Jamon Brown and Mekhi Becton.
You can't go wrong with them two.
No, sir.
Now, Kiante, when I come to Ballard High School there in Louisville, Kentucky, I like to get popcorn, get a Sprite, 20 ounce, go to the highest seat in the stadium. When that ball is kicked off for 4 quarters, what type of football player will I see in Kiante Goodwin?
A leader, a guy that's going to help the team no matter what, a guy that's going to finish, a guy that's going to enjoy every minute of the game, is going to give you your all. A guy that just loves playing the game. That's the type of guy that you would see.
I want everyone to know that have just tuned in to our live stream on YouTube or Facebook Live or all multiple platforms here to check out On the Hill with Pat G Sports Talk. It's our Hog Eye segment. We're speaking with big-time 2022 prospect, offensive tackle Kiante Goodwin of Louisville, Kentucky, Ballard High School. Let's have a little fun, Kiante. Could you tell the listeners something maybe that they don't know about KG that you'd like to share?
Well, I'm a big dude, and I like music. So I was in the band, and I outgrew my clarinet, so they had to put me on bass clarinet. I love instrumental music. It's been part of my life since I was young. It really got in my life around the 4th grade because my brother was in middle school. I got jealous of him playing his clarinet, so I wanted to play it and be better than him at it.
Now let's keep having a little fun. We're riding around Louisville, Kentucky, KG, and I'm old school. I want to know what's the new music, what everybody's listening to in Louisville. In particular, Kiante Goodwin, what's the first 5 songs we're going to listen to on your playlist?
Well, on my playlist, it's going to be a lot of Michael Jackson old school. So it's going to be Escape by, Human Nature, Heaven Can Wait, Let's Stay Together, and Pretty Wings.
Yeah, you all about. I'm definitely going to ride. We'll ride for a few hours in Louisville with that type of music. But Kiante, I got to make one statement, and I want you to finish it for me. When football is finally done with, when it's all said and done for Kiante Goodwin, what will Kiante Goodwin be doing with the rest of his life afterwards?
Helping people and owning real estate.
I like that, my man. Well, hey, Kiante, let me say this. Our line is your line. Our show is your show. this cannot be the last time you and I talk here on OTA. So let's make this a consistent thing. Maybe once or twice a month.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, Kiante, you have a blessed one, and thanks for taking time out here on OTH today.
No problem. Yes, sir.
That was big-time 2022 offensive tackle prospect for the University of Arkansas and Brad Davis. Kiante Goodwin of Louisville, Kentucky, Ballard High School, and Demetrius. His nickname is Syrup. Is that what you saw?
I hope they talking about because he's thick. He's a big boy. He's a guy. Just hearing him, I just feel like he just sounds like a hard worker and somebody that is committed to someone that he believes in and trusts. And I think when you get coaches like Brad Davis and Sam Pittman, guys that are God-fearing men that understand integrity, and you get young men such as himself, I think it'll be a beautiful combination. Just with the type of men they are, and just the upbringing that I feel he comes from, he just sounds like a good kid, just focused, and I just think he can do great things here. I really think any offensive line man that comes here, it's gonna be different than what you would get from any university. Just having a offensive line and defensive line coach as your head honcho of the program. So many times you see offensive linemen and defensive linemen get unappreciated. And I think just with the atmosphere here at Arkansas, you're going to get them. They're going to get a different type of light shine on them.
Well, Terry Roy, he always, gives us good feedback, and he gave us a synopsis on, I believe it's Harold Perkins, and Terry says he saw him 3 times.
Yeah, he mentioned playing safety, and that's crazy because that was one of the things I mentioned when I saw his tape. He was so versatile, and now that I got to thinking, he really reminds me of Sean Taylor. And I'm not going to say as far as just his tackling ability. I did see a hit that did remind me of just his ball skills. Right. People don't know Sean Taylor was a ball hawk. He just had a knack for being wherever the ball was. And I just think he's that type of player and has that type of athleticism.
It's a reason why he's getting all these offers. I mean, the kid's big-time prospect. I was very, very impressed with the young man's film. As I was impressed with all 3 of the young men. And real quick, before we get out of here, we want to give a shout-out and a thank you to our guests. With that being said, Harold Perkins, 2022 outside linebacker out of Cypress, Texas, Cypress High School. I want to give a shout out for him taking time out to talk Razorbacks and much, much more. Also to Javion Hunt, the 2021 running back out of Midwest City, Carl Albert High School. I'm talking about it's going to be a big time situation where he goes. I do think Arkansas that will be in the end when all is said and done. And also, too, closing out, big man, offensive tackle in the 2022 class, Kiante Goodwin out of Louisville, Kentucky, Ballard High School. I want to give a shout out to those guys for coming on and just sharing their journey and platform with us on the Hill to where we can share it with you all. I want to give a shout out before we leave real quick to our sponsors once again. Lindsay and Associates with an office location in Fayetteville, an office location also too in Rogers. Locomotion located just below the Northwest Arkansas Mall in Fayetteville. Corey Beck's Custom Painting, and lastly, KDK's Chicken down at 989 South Razorback Road. Go see Keith and Kathy. Get a plate of love, and like they say, it's not your mama's. Best chicken and waffles in the South. I added that part. Also, too, want to give a shout out to Demetrius Johnson, the producer, co-host, man behind the scenes, and lastly, to you all for many, many views, many, many questions. Let's continue to interact. Hall Guys will continue tomorrow as a signing day, early signing day, as there'll be a lot we'll talk about. Maybe in the Must Bus era, but I know we're going to continue with Hall Guys because you know what we say? Don't ever stop watching. But for today, it's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins on KDSJ 479. You guys have a blessed one, and let's get it.